What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. It is the 4th day of January, and here we are sitting at about $641 with roughly 8.5 hours left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. I want to first just point out, starting off this video, I want to point out how well Bitcoin Cash has done since November 21st, right? You've been in this kind of trend here, higher lows, higher highs, since November 21st. And while you weren't doing fantastic from the time of October 10th until this point, you certainly did outperform the average altcoin in the market. I mean, I would say from October 10th, you basically just moved sideways, right? You just basically moved sideways and then you moved up. The average altcoin, by contrast, let's get this here, has been in a downtrend since October 10th. Right? Bitcoin Cash, from like here to here, was in a sideways trend. And then it didn't break into a downtrend, it broke into an upward sloping trend. It's been moving up since November 21st. November 21st is here for altcoins. We've been in a downtrend, and recently, only over this past 4 days, have we broken out. And that's nice, but look at where you are in comparison to where you were on October 10th. Right? You are significantly lower than where you were on October 10th. Not a crazy amount lower, but significantly lower. Bitcoin Cash, October 10th is here, you are significantly higher. I mean, from what that area was, $513 to $640, it's not that crazy. It's not anything worth bragging about necessarily in itself, by itself alone. But the behavior that you're seeing with Bitcoin Cash compared to the altcoin markets, compared to Bitcoin itself, which has just been moving sideways since November 21st, let alone since October 10th. Look at how much it's dropped since October 10th. Look at where we are in comparison to that. This alone is not impressive, moving up from here to here in this amount of time. But comparing everything else that we have, it's pretty damn impressive. I mean, when you have turmoil, desperation, depression in the markets, but there's a shining star that's been consistently leading the way, the right way, that's very encouraging. It's not encouraging in the sense that, all right, everybody's screwed in crypto and I've chosen the golden ticket. This is the only one that's going to do well. No, everything's going to do fine. I think all crypto investors are going to make money as long as they're investors and not traders, degenerate traders. Trading can be successful, but most people are not successful with trading. So I think the best method is probably just to buy and hold rather than trying to gamble away your life savings. It's better to just buy and hold. If you're buying and holding Bitcoin Cash, the fact that we've been outperforming the average altcoin and Bitcoin tremendously since October 10th, let alone since the 21st of November, tells me that when the market does kick back up, and I assume that it will at some point here, probably end of this month of January, going into April, we'll probably have a phenomenal time. Bitcoin Cash, as it has been leading the markets in this terrible time, it will likely lead the markets or be a very shining example whenever crypto is performing well. It'll probably outperform the average altcoin then as well. That's all I'm trying to say. Right? Reasonable deduction there. We look at BCH.D, and the Bitcoin Cash market cap dominance has been going up tremendously since February of 2025. We've been we had this downtrend from April of 2024 to February 2025, and now we've been moving up steadily. We really picked up the pace on October 13th, the week after this massive crash happened. We've really picked up. This is how we've done versus the average altcoin versus Bitcoin versus the whole crypto market. We've been doing very, very well, right? It just embodies that. We zoom out and we look here, and you can see, maybe not so much on a weekly time frame, but let's look on a monthly time frame. You can see this massive, absolutely wonderful double bottom formation that we have here. It's like we're in a giant W. We're in this absolutely magnificent, humongous W. Maybe it starts here, maybe it starts here, whatever it is. I love W patterns. I love M patterns. They're very reliable, right? W patterns are very reliable. They're even more reliable when you have an M in the middle of your W. So here, like this, versus just like a W like this, right? You see the difference here. That's what we have right here. We've got this here. I don't know what this formation is. It's just a W pattern. I don't know what the technical pattern name is called for this. I always call it the reverse bow. That's what I've coined it as. That's what I've called it as. I'm sure there are people who've identified this formation well before my time as a technical analyst. But I call it the reverse bow. And I've given you guys my explanation for that. I'll give it real quick. I'll say it one more time because to me, it almost looks like I'm drawing a bow, right? Like if I was drawing a bow here. Wait. Did I do that wrong? Something like that. No, hold on. I'm doing it wrong. I can't do it sideways. Let me try this again. Hold on. We go like this. Why can't I do it? Oh my goodness. Something like that. Wait, hold on. We're going to try it one more time. Is that it? I don't know why I can't turn it sideways. We're just going to have the bow here. It's like there's an arrow in it. It's supposed to go this way, but it doesn't. It goes reverse. The price goes reverse of where the arrow would go. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's just, I call it the reverse bow. And it's a very powerful double bottom setup. Apparently I can't draw. I can do this. Wait, I can do this, but I can't do that sideways. I'm going to try this one more time just because I'm having too much fun right now. Let's see. Is it like this? No, I just can't. I can't do it, man. I don't know. Maybe you guys try it. That's like a tongue twister right there for your brain. Or maybe I'm just special. Very bullish chart. Very, very bullish chart on Bitcoin Cash dominance. That's all I'm trying to say. And likely we will see, we will reclaim a 3% level of total crypto market cap dominance. We will likely even reclaim new all-time highs at some point, I would assume, or at least, areas around here as well. As far as what the total crypto market cap will be by the end of the cycle, I don't know, but I would assume Bitcoin Cash has at least 3% of that, at least 3% of that. Right now, Bitcoin Cash, what's it worth as far as market cap goes? It's worth, what is its market cap? It's like 30 or is it 40 billion? What is it? 60? No, it's way less. Oh my goodness, I don't even know. 12.8. 12.8. Let's assume the crypto market cap goes to $20 trillion because that's an assumption that I've had for a while. 20 trillion, 3% of that. 1% would be 200 billion, so 3% would be 600 billion. Wow. 600 billion from here. I mean, times 10, you'd have 128 billion. 128, 4, 5, that'd be 500. You'd have over a 50x? Dude, that's crazy. And let me do that math again. No, sorry. You'd have over a 40x, not a 50x. Again, if this chart is true, right? If you have a W pattern with an M in it, typically you go to where the W started, but just above it. I wouldn't think that this W started here. I would think that it clearly started here. It's even possible that it started all the way up here, so it's possible that we have some unresolved issues to the upside. But just imagine that we spend the rest of this year, the rest of this quote-unquote cycle, working our way up here. The same way we move down, but we're moving up now, right? If we did it on the way down, we could certainly do it on the way up. It doesn't work like that, but it just humor me. If we hit a 3% of the total market cap, and the total market cap goes to $20 trillion, hold on. From a high to a low, my assumption is that the total will go to the 2272. It's very common to wick just above it, so what's the psychological level of resistance there? $20 trillion. It lines up with Bitcoin going to 500K. It lines up with a lot of things that make sense. I mean, we've done in-depth analysis on why I think 20K is there. $20 trillion would be the total crypto market cap by the end of the cycle. We haven't done it in a while because we've been in a very stagnant environment, but I'm very confident in this prediction. Maybe we go higher. Maybe it's not as high, but I'm going with what my prediction is and has been for years now, is that we see a $20 trillion market cap by the end of the cycle for crypto. If we see that 1% of 20 trillion is 200 billion, 3% based off of this would then be 600 billion. Bitcoin Cash is worth 12.8 billion. Oh. So 10x would be 128, 40x would be 500 and something, so it'd be in between a 40 and 50x. If we were to get that, a 40 to 50x with Bitcoin Cash from here, from $640, You guys, that's crazy. I, I don't I don't know, man. That's that's some that's some crazy stuff. Hold on now. BCH USD. The thing is, we've theorized for a long time that 20K would be where this thing topped off. Once we hit this high and we consolidated, we threw 20K off the table. It hasn't been on the table at all. But around here, somewhere around here, whenever we started to assume that Bitcoin and the rest of the market, the crypto cycle, would not end until probably sometime in 2026, and now we've gotten comfortable with the idea that it'll be late 2026, if not even, hell, going into 2027, guys. Crazy stuff. Now that we've gotten comfortable with that, the 20K targets are back on the table. We take the all-time high to the all-time low. You've got 23K right here at your 1414, right? A 40 to 50x from here, roughly estimating, right? That it's very common with the 1414 to wick just above it. That's a 37x there. Let's assume I'm wrong. There's some margin of error to the downside. Maybe we get a 36x. Oh no. Maybe see. I'm just saying, looking at this, if I'm right in my assumption that the total goes to $20 trillion, Bitcoin Cash has no choice but to go to a $23,000 price or higher. We probably don't get above 30K though. We probably don't. Something between 30 and 23K. That's crazy, guys. Now, this isn't crazy crypto growth. I mean, it is. A 37x to a 45x can change a lot of people's lives. A lot of people's lives. It's not generational wealth building, right? You take $100, you 30x it, you've now got, what would that be? $3,000, right? Yeah. 100 times 30 would be $3,000. You take $1,000, you 45x it, and you've got $45,000. If you've never had $10,000 to your name, if you never had $1,000 to your name, going from 100 to 3,000 is a lot. Going from 100 to 4,400 is a lot. Going from 1,000 to $45,000 is a lot. I'm getting caught up in the numbers here. It's definitely a lot of money. It's not life changing, but it's not generational wealth building. But nonetheless, in this environment, in this crypto environment where the altcoin markets have been rather disappointing and unreliable, Bitcoin Cash is one of the few coins in the top 20 that I can honestly say that I fully expect will outperform the average altcoin. The other chart is the average altcoin chart, right? This chart is up 10% this month. It's the 4th of January. I bet the average altcoin, not all of them, is probably up about 10%. Maybe some are up 11 or 12 or 15%. Maybe some are up only 8%. But roughly the average altcoin's up about 10%, right? Bitcoin Cash is up more than that this month and will likely continue to outperform the average altcoin. I see the average altcoin from here going to its 2272 as well. The others chart going to its 2272. That's all the way up at about a $6 trillion market cap. So I think altcoins alone will be worth $6 trillion or more. That's roughly like not even a 30x, maybe a 30x at the most from here. Bitcoin Cash will likely outperform that. You have a coin that is safe, okay? Bitcoin Cash, it has been here since, I mean, depending on how you want to look at it, it's the first crypto that ever existed, right there. Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash are twins. The Genesis block for Bitcoin Cash is the same Genesis block for Bitcoin. If you don't understand that, do some research. Figure out why. You might start to understand why I like Bitcoin Cash so much. It's technically just as old as Bitcoin itself. It's the oldest crypto in the game. But if you don't like that, if you want to go from the time of the hard fork happened in 2017 in August. Or maybe technically it started before then, but it was official, in 2017, I want to say August. It's remained in the top 20 that whole time. If it ever got out of the top 20, it was brief, and it's maintained itself there. And now we're coming for the top 10. You've been here for a long time. You've been through hardships. You are right now about to break out of this massive, lifelong historical channel that you've been in. Multiple cycles, right? Multiple bull markets, third bull market here, right? Multiple bear markets, 2 bear markets there. We're about to break out. I can't imagine that this breakout's going to be anything less than fantastic. You have a fantastic opportunity here with a crypto that's been around for a very long time, that will continue to be here for a very long time, that's got longevity. It's not just going to outperform altcoins this cycle, right? But it's also going to be around next cycle. And let's say it underperforms altcoins next cycle, whatever that might be, that's fine. Most altcoins this cycle, most coins that are in the top 100, the top 200, 90% of them will not be there next cycle. So if you are an investor, if you are somebody who's looking to make generational wealth, not just a quick 30 to 40x, which is nice. That's nice. It's some good crypto gains right there. It's not 100x. It's not a multi 100x, and some people get that in every single crypto cycle, and those are gains to revel in and to envy, to seek. I think all of us, if you're investing in crypto, I think we should all shoot for something that has 100x potential, but you don't put your life savings in that, right? This is a coin, because you don't do that, because 100x potential also means you have a lot of risk, right? You don't get that kind of reward without that risk. With Bitcoin Cash, you can, and not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but speaking from personal experience, you can put your life savings in this and rest assured that it will grow over time. I have, and I'm saying that again, not saying that you put your life savings in there. I think that is a smart move. That's why I have done it. That's why it is my largest holding. That's why my life savings, I don't have a bank account. I have a Bitcoin Cash wallet. I have a wallet full of Bitcoin. I have multiple wallets full of Bitcoin Cash. Don't put it all in one place, by the way. I know that we're accustomed to this thought, by the way, talking about investing and wealth perseverance and wealth generation. We're all used to putting all of our money in our bank account. And the higher up you go, you start getting a lot of money. You should have multiple accounts anyways. You probably have several accounts, more than just a checking account. But the average person watching this, you probably only have one checking account. And what? At the most, you get $1,000 in that checking account, tens of thousands of dollars, maybe tens of thousands. You probably don't have, the average person watching this, if you have a checking account, you probably don't have 100,000 or more in that account, right? But even if you did, you would just put it all in one bank account. You'd have it all there, all in one safe place. It's all at the bank, whatever bank it is. With Bitcoin Cash or with crypto, if I had, let's say my wealth was $100,000. In the grand scheme of things, that's a drop in the bucket. It's nothing at all. But at the same time, that's a lot of money. I don't think anybody would be happy to lose $100,000. You don't want to put that all in one wallet. You want to have that separated out into multiple wallets, right? There's nothing wrong with having 10 wallets with $10,000 or $10,000 worth of Bitcoin Cash on them, however much that would be now. That'd be, what, like six? I don't know. I don't know what it would be. I'm not going to do that math. I'm on a roll here. I don't want to get off the train. Just the thought there being that if you are investing for Bitcoin Cash, the whole thought here is that this coin is safe. It's been around. It's gotten beaten up. It had the whole crypto community. Man, back here, everybody in crypto called this a scam. They hated it. Back here, everybody was happy to see Bitcoin Cash was dying, quote unquote, saying that it was in a downtrend, when really it had a higher low. That should have been the first clue. People were calling this a downtrend when really you had higher lows. You're no more in a downtrend than you were in an uptrend. We're not in an uptrend or a downtrend. We're consolidating. People are looking at the chart all wrong, but they're writing it off because people just genuinely didn't like Bitcoin Cash. The average person in crypto didn't like Bitcoin Cash. For those of you that are new, the reason why, the predominant reason why, is because Roger Ver, Jimmy Sung, and Tone Vays. Roger Ver would get in public arguments with Jimmy Sung and Tone Vays. If you don't know, Roger Ver back here was basically a Bitcoin Cash maximalist. And I mean, really throughout all this time, he was a Bitcoin Cash maximalist. I would say now he's not so much a maximalist. He's more of a freedom maximalist. However, whatever vehicle gets us there, it doesn't have to be Bitcoin Cash, but his predominant thesis is that Bitcoin Cash is the true Bitcoin, right? And a lot of people who are invested in Bitcoin Cash think the same. If you don't know who Roger Ver is and you're invested in Bitcoin Cash, look him up. You'll have somebody that you appreciate. But back then people didn't appreciate it because Tone Vays and Jimmy Sung, I feel like, were very good at pushing Roger's buttons, and when Roger's buttons get pushed, he doesn't really care how he looks and to his own detriment at times. And I just think that a lot of people back here associated Bitcoin Cash with, oh, it's Roger Ver's coin. But it's not Roger Ver's coin. It's never been Roger Ver's coin. Roger Ver is just as big of a proponent of Bitcoin Cash when everybody was calling it a scam and hating on it because of the bad PR. I feel like that all this arguing gave it, and beyond that, there was a bunch of hate between the Bitcoin core and the Bitcoin Cash community already. They call it the block wars, right? Of 2017. I don't know why I'm giving you guys a history lesson. A lot of you probably already aware of this, but there is, I want you to understand, for the people who are already aware of this, who know this information, who this is like an old story for you, there are a bunch of people who are investing in Bitcoin Cash now, specifically over the past 7 months, who don't know this history, right? And I just think, and again, and I'm going over it not because I think it's necessarily vital. It is vital to understand history, but also because people might want to understand, well, why are people calling it a scam back here? They're calling it a scam. They were calling it a scam here for the same reasons they're calling it a scam here. They're not aware of what it is. Right? It's like people who call Bitcoin a scam or crypto a scam. The only people who don't like crypto are people who don't know what it is, who couldn't tell you actually what it does. They couldn't give you a sophisticated conversation about it. It's the same thing with Bitcoin Cash. The only people who don't like it are people who don't know anything about it. Once you start to look at it, once you start to understand it a little bit more, you're like, oh my God, this is the better Bitcoin. It really is. And whenever everybody else gets on board with that, we're going to see Bitcoin Cash skyrocket to these levels of $23,000 to $30,000. And I really truly believe that that's where we're going to go. I didn't mean to get on this whole rant and ramble, but that's what happened. We look at the 1 hour time frame again, and I don't even think I need to look at the 1 hour time frame or the 4 hour time frame here. We're bullish. We're very bullishly implied, guys. We know what's coming next. It's the short term stuff isn't really even worth talking about. On the daily aspect, we've moved up. We might consolidate here. We might form another higher low. Hell, if we even go below $590, guess what? We're going to be fine. But yesterday, where I was pretty confident we'd go below $600, I'm less confident today. We might not go below $600 ever again. Yesterday might have been the dagger in the heart for anybody who ever wanted to buy Bitcoin Cash below $600. The reality is, we will not have an opportunity to buy below $600 either ever again from this point, or the moments that we do will be fleeting. Right? I'm not saying that it can't happen. We could go below $600 again, and if that happens, great. That's probably your last chance, but it might be done already. That door might be closed forever. The thought that should be entering people's heads is not that, oh my God, I can't buy below $600 anymore. It's, oh my God, I have an opportunity to buy this thing below $1,000. It's a giant window of opportunity here. And from here to $1,000, we're going to celebrate. Those are great gains, but we are still cheap. We're still very cheap. Imagine at $1,000, you have 23x potential still, because we're going to go to 23K or higher probably by the end of this year. Like, you could be wrong about it. You could be like, no, I'm not going to buy it. I'm just going to wait. Okay, fine. I'll FOMO in up here and still get a 20x. Like this thing. And again, I keep getting distracted. I keep going down all these rabbit holes, but this thing will be here for years and decades and lifetimes to come. It's not going away. You'll outperform the average coin this cycle. You'll do a 30x to a 40x this cycle, or a 40 to 50x technically is what we came up with this cycle, whatever it might be. But next cycle, you'll also see growth, and that will compound the growth from this cycle, right? Imagine, if you will, just take a walk with me on this road to crazy town, okay? Crazy, crazy gain town. Imagine you bought now, whoever you are, and we saw a 23K price, which again, that's where the 1414 is. Likely we wouldn't stop there. We'd go higher if we got there, but whatever. We're just going to say 23K. Let's say you had 23K. You got a 36X. That's phenomenal. That's great. But what we did was we established that you'd probably get a 40 to 50X, right? If we're going to go to 3%, 3% here, if we're going to go to 3% of the total crypto market cap, and the total's assumed to get to about $20 trillion, that should roughly be about $600 billion in Bitcoin Cash's market cap, roughly, and that would be about a 40 to 50x from its current market cap valuation. So with that, a 40 to 50x is what we'd assume, but we're still taking a conservative estimate. Imagine you had a 36x. You had $100, and you turn it into $3,600 up here. Great, $3,600. Now, imagine next cycle, instead of a 36x, we only get a 10x. Only a 10x next cycle. It's only a 10x, right? That 10x would take us all the way up to about $239,000. We're at $640 now. Do you understand the gravity of the situation? I want to say it again because I know it's a thought that people might like to flirt with, but it seems like a fantasy. Maybe it's something that people are really serious about. They believe it just as much as I do, but they're not confident enough to say it in person. They don't have the words, or they don't have the confidence, but they just believe it somehow, some way, whatever it might be. Let me tell you right now, if we are correct, if I am correct in my assumptions, with Bitcoin Cash going to something around 20K or more by the end of this cycle, by the end of this year, maybe early 2027, then it's incredibly likely that the following cycle, Bitcoin Cash will be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay? Next cycle, right? If we go through a bear market in 2027 and then the bull market kicks up in 2028, or we're in a bear market until 2028 and then it's 2029, 2030 that we're in a bull market again, whatever. Like we're talking about, guys, it's 2026 right now. By 2030, if not by 2032, sometime in the next 4 to 6 years, this thing should be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Assuming that we're right in our thesis with Bitcoin Cash and that it's not just a here now crypto and then it's gone later. 36x is nice. 10x is pathetic. But when you put them together, 10x isn't pathetic. We'd all be happy with a 10x. I'm a crypto OG, right? I've been here since 2015. So that I don't get out of bed for a 10x, but maybe these days we do. But that overall would, from the current price, give you growth on something on the lines of a multi-100x, you guys. Like that is a 374x. And this is why I wanted to come back to this, because I want to tie it all together. I said it earlier. A 40 to a 50x, a 30x, that's not generational wealth. It's nice. It's life-changing. If you've never had $10,000 before, you put $1,000 into this and you walk out with tens of thousands of dollars, that's life-changing wealth. You can do so much with that. Absolutely you can. If you've never had $1,000 saved in your bank account, you put $100 in this and you walk out with $3,000 by the end of the cycle, that's life-changing wealth. You can do a lot with that, man. That's a basis there. But it's not generational wealth. Generational wealth, the stuff that you pass down to your kids and they pass down to their kids, that comes from 100x moves, multi-100x moves. And you're not even a generation away from that. You are 6 short years from what would likely be a multi-100x, giving potentially generational wealth if you just buy freaking now and you hold. And can you buy and hold? A lot of us think that if we could go back in time and buy Bitcoin at $500, that or $640, that we would hold it all the way up to $91,000. But the reality is there's a lot of people like me who did, and we didn't hold it until that time. We didn't. We were short-sighted. We made the wrong decision. You have an opportunity here where you've learned from people like me, where you've heard the stories of people who had thousands of Bitcoins, but they lost their wallets. They sold them. They sold them for pizza, what would be worth millions of dollars now. You've heard the stories. You know better now. We have a second chance here. Can you hold out for a little bit of time? A little slice of your life for what could literally be generational wealth. This thing, it doesn't stop here. It doesn't, $200,000 is not its top. It's going to be worth millions of dollars in my lifetime. The same rhetoric for BTC is here for BCH, but it's stronger. And we had this theory all along since 2023. I had this theory back in the last cycle too, but I have no video evidence to prove it. So we're just going to say since here. But I have for a long time. I've been a Bitcoin Cash believer since the beginning. That there will be a narrative that Bitcoin Cash might flip Bitcoin. And whether it flips Bitcoin or doesn't, I don't think there's any crypto alive that actually has a chance to stand up to that narrative. Ethereum had that narrative for like a month, for a couple months back in its last cycle, or maybe the first cycle, right? There is the possibility. But it was here and gone. Bitcoin Cash, I'm telling you, there's going to be this, what's happening now, is the commencement, it's the beginning of what will be I don't want to say a feud, but maybe a large disagreement, a large conversation of, will Bitcoin Cash flip Bitcoin? I think Bitcoin Cash right now is coming for the number 2 spot. I think it's coming for Ethereum. By the time it's in the top 5, this conversation will really start to kick up a lot for a lot of people. But whenever it's number 2, I think it becomes a stark reality that Bitcoin Cash will flip Bitcoin. At that point, it's inevitable. Bitcoin can still exist, BTC can still exist, but I do think Bitcoin Cash will in time flip Bitcoin. And even if it doesn't, it will perform so well that thought is something that's promoted in the crypto space for most people. And with that potential, man, you can see why I love this thing so much, right? $641 now. If you can wait 6 years, this will be the easiest multi-100x of your life. It might be the only one, but you're not going to do it buying and selling, playing the game, leverage trading like a degenerate. You're going to do it by buying and holding with vision, with foresight, and with experience. The experience of others who have made this mistake before, who have bought Bitcoin at $640, who did not hold it to $126, right? Or $126,000. The people who bought it and they mishandled their keys. The people who bought it and they sold it. They traded it for things. They traded it away. They used leverage trading like myself, and they lost it all, right? We've got that experience now. We have a second chance, and this is where generational wealth is built. And it's not built in a night. It's not built in a year. It's built probably in 6 years or less, I would guess. And then from there, again, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, it's only going to grow in value. I'm done. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye.